maximum of 15 inches. I'm going to talk inches. I'm not even going to try and convert it into centimetres. I don't want to wreck my brain or I'll be drinking that hyaluronic acid myself. So I have a long piece there, about 15 inches approximately, which is... don't know, many centimetres.
I haven't a clue.
Haven't got a clue. It's actually more than 30 centimetres. Some of our Einsteins there convert 15 inches into centimetres, and when I call out the inches, you convert it to centimetres for me. I now have two pieces approximately the same length, and at the oasis near my stomach, okay? So I'm going to keep the container this direction. So the oasis near my stomach down here, and I'm going to point these two pieces of greenery, okay, facing kind of like in your direction. So everything that I put into this arrangement today is pointing towards yourselves, okay, towards the camera. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some extra pieces, and these are all resting down on the table. And it's really, really important that you do rest them on the table. Now I'm using the bottle brush because, again, if you've been watching, greenery is shite in Ireland at the moment, and it's because really it's all shooting and it's all kind of like growing at the moment. So a lot of the growers, most of the growers, all of the growers, they're not cutting the foliage, okay? Because otherwise they'll have no foliage to flog to us when it comes to August or September. And bottle brush kind of seems the best of the worst at the moment. So eucalyptus is absolutely fabulous for doing this display. Now, you're not supposed to like lift up an arrangement when you're making it, but I'm just going to try and lift that up slightly that they can see it. Can you kind of get an angle?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I've done so far. I'm going to put a lot of flowers into this arrangement. So now
this is going to be a big one, really.
This is going to be a big one, okay? Not huge, but a little bit bigger than I suppose I normally do. But it is going to take a little bit longer. So listen, don't be sneaking off there now and leave me here on my own. Anybody there that's watching, make sure that you share this in your flower clubs, in your gardening clubs, or any clubs that you're in, even your knitting clubs, you share it there.
15 inches is 40 centimetres. Lolly on YouTube is keeping us updated. Thank you so much.
I knew we'd have some brainy students there.
Paula is watching in from rainy Pennsylvania in the USA, and Sharon is watching in from Leeds.
Okay, what I've been doing now is I'm cutting pieces. Some of them are probably around, again, Lily can convert this in a second, 10 to 12 inches, you know, that way. And you can see these are all down near my stomach, okay, near the bottom of the floral foam. But again, everything you can see is pointing in your direction. So watch when I hold this arrangement up. Can you see the angle down here where this tongue is wiggling? Because this is a tongue weight, by the way. Everything is pointing in that direction, right? So now I'm back to kind of a couple of longer pieces. So I'm cutting these about 12 inches, okay? So Lily, you do the conversions for us, okay?
Thanks.
So 12 inches, okay? I'm cutting some of these. And I'm obviously, because I'm not measuring them, they're not exact. So Lily might say, Ginny, matching that, I think that one is about 15 or that one's about 8. It doesn't matter. Be very casual. And anyway, I'm in a bit of a panic because I know this one is going to take a little bit of time.
Okay, so, Michelle said it's nice and attractive. And we'd love a few more likes up on our TikTok. So the likes are a bit low on TikTok today.
Come on, TikTok, get moving there.
And on YouTube, we got quite a few stickers the other day. So a few more stickers would be nice over on YouTube as well. We're a bit needy, aren't we? A bit Peggy
Very
Maggie
needy here today. We are very needy. So what I'm doing there is you can see the way I started. I need a few more in there in a second, right? And I have them all kind of going in line, but everything is looking to you, right? So whether you're on the south, the east, the west, America, Australia, New Zealand, and even Cavan, you know that way, everything is going in your direction.
Eileen says 10 to 12 inches is 25 to 30 centimetres.
Fair play to you. That's the brains over in Birmingham. So again, I'm adding in a few more in here. I know you're probably saying, God, there's a lot of floral foam still showing, but it's going to be covered in with a lot of the flowers, you know what I mean, that I put in. And I'm going to use a selection of flowers for this display. And kind of keeping it seasonal, kind of like summer flowers.
June said she shared to her friends and community groups.
Fair play to you. Really appreciate that. Absolutely. I mean, remember your name when we're picking the winners.
Oh, we will.
Now, something else. Do you see all the stalks, okay, off the bottle brush, right? I want you to hold on to all them stalks. So you know the way normally I say about the magic bin on the floor, that one we just went in the magic bin, right? So what you're going to do is don't throw these in the bin, cut them all up, okay? So I'm just gathering them all up before I put all the ones I don't want in the magic bin. There we go, don't want them ones, hide them, there we go. And there's our little stalks, so hold on to them, I'll need them in a little while, I have a container here. So the next thing I want to go on to now is the September flower, okay? Or what you might call aster. Now again, Michaelmas Daisy is another name for this flower, so that's what it looks like there.
And just that it is covered, I added that one, I actually added it this morning to the free tutorial.
Okay, so anybody that has already uploaded the tutorial online program that we gave you the other day with all the treatment and the conditioning of flowers, you probably have realised it's a little bit more than just treatment and conditioning of flowers, because we gave you its botanical name, we gave you its common name, we gave you its meaning, we told you what time of the year it's available, we told you when it peaks in season, we told you what it could be used for, we gave you suggestions on, the treatment and the conditioning of it. That I absolutely told you everything. And since you uploaded it the other day, there's loads of new ones after being added. And what I've just done there is put in a long piece of greenery down at the 12.
Can I get you to move over to the right? That's it, perfect, yeah.
And I've also put in just the 2 corners, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm following the exact same system that I did with the greenery. Do you remember I had all these pieces of greenery lying down on the table? So I'm going to cut like loads and loads of long ones, okay, so I'll cut these up here. And I'm going to stick them all in kind of along the bottom sides of the arrangement. And it's really important when you're doing this display is that you keep all the pieces resting flat on the table. So don't have anything sticking up in the air. Now while I'm demonstrating this, if you have any questions regarding this arrangement, put it in the comments there and I'll respond back to you. Now if I miss it, because it'll be fairly busy here today because you're all going to be sharing it and commenting and tagging Daisy Bell. So if Deirdre misses the question, that way, the thing is, I'll respond to them all tonight. As you know, we go back through all the comments at night time and we answer absolutely everybody. So I'm going along the stems there, I'm kind of cutting off all the side pieces. I probably could have had this done in advance, but sure I didn't, okay? So I'm cutting off all them little side pieces. And some of them, as I'm cutting them off, are a little bit longer than others, and others are a little bit shorter. But if you've ever seen me, and some of you have, I'm very casual about how I kind of work, right?
Okay, Tracy's asking, may I ask why you're only going in one way, please?
That's the surprise of this arrangement. You have to hang on to your knickers there for another few minutes, okay? And I'll work as quick as I can. Any of these longer ones that I take up, I'm going to place them on the floor, on the kind of bottom sides of the arrangement. Where any of these kind of shorter ones, do you remember where I said down near my belly, kind of pointing in your direction? I'm going to use a row of them there. And I'm a bit like that when I'm doing flower arranging, where I kind of find when people do flower arranging, is they cut a flower to fit in a particular spot. Where I just cut up all the flowers, and then I have them in my hand and I say, and I'll find a spot for you, and I'll find a spot for you, and I'll find a spot for you, and I'll find a spot, there's a nice long one, I'll find a spot for you up there, and I'll find a spot for you over there. Do you see the way, as the flower comes out of my hand, a little short one, you're going to go down there, kind of like short one again, you come down here as well, and so will you. This one's kind of medium-ish, I'll put you there, and so on. So at the moment, I have quite a lot resting on the table. I've an odd few spots where I could do a bit. I have a little bit down here all facing towards you, and I'm going to lift this up kind of like just so you can kind of see the angle of it. Hopefully that kind of works. It is quite heavy and it is going to be quite big. But remember with the foliage, the way I kind of started here and I kept working back towards my stomach, that way. So that's what I'm going to do now, exactly the same thing again. So all the foliage is inserted on an angle. And any of you that are all hepped up about measurements and cutting things and getting them the right length, you'll realise Jeanette doesn't give a shite about lengths. Get it in, get it done, get it fast and make loads and loads of money on it, okay? That's how you make money in the floristry business. Now, I'm not saying just feck it in any old way, but feck it in kind of any old way and it will work for you. The only thing that you have to worry about is that you keep everything, if any gobshite sticks it up that way, you're completely wrong. Keep everything lying down and more or less you can't go wrong. Now, I've used September flower here, but what would be brilliant as well is wax flower. Now, the only thing is wax flower is not great at the moment. It's out of season. It's not really that available. And anything that is available is not really the best. That way, there's hardly any flower on it. It's all kind of like foliage. So we kind of find like it's not great. So just go and buy the September flower.
All Things Beautiful says, sorry if she's joining late, watching from London and have you cast onto the television. Karen Johnson is watching from her hospital bed, waiting to get her appendix out.
Oh my God, hopefully you're not too bad and hopefully you're not too sore.
And Anne-Marie is saying she's joining her local flower club next week and she'll be telling them all about us. Make sure to join into the Flowery Fun group as well, Anne-Marie, because over on Facebook you'll pick up loads there. It's already so pretty, Jenny is saying.
Now all going down into the magic bin, all the rubbish, and we're ready now for another little bit of a
just turn it sideways, just to, yeah.
There we go.
No, sort of on it. Yeah, that, no,
there.
sideways. Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
and I'm kind of looking in, I can see a few cop-on spots, but I have loads more material to put into this.
Paula said, I'm glad to hear that you cut and then find a spot. That's how she arranges as well.
It's the best way, you know what I mean? Like, when I start off with the students, you know, when I'm training them in, and they'd say to me, like, you know, what length is that? And I said, it's around that length, you know, that way. And if it's a bit longer, it's a bit shorter. Like, people get too fussy about lengths and measurements, you know, and then what ends up is your arrangements can look very formal looking, where if you kind of want it to be a little bit more casual, you know, that way you'll get away with border. So I'm starting now with a couple of Lysianthus, okay, and I'm going to bring a long Lysianthus. You'll find I keep repeating the same system, okay. So I have this long piece of Lysianthus, which is down there where that first piece of bottle brush was, and the first piece of September flower was. And guess what the next spot is? I'm now going for the two sides of the arrangement, okay? So again, down here near my belly, okay, I'm adding in, the belly is getting smaller, by the way. Do you all notice that? The belly is definitely getting smaller. Huge thanks to the feckin' devils I have to go to in the morning. But anyway, fair play to them, I am getting there. So now I'm going to add a few more of the Lysianthus along the sides of the arrangement. And again, these are all resting on the table. Do you know that way? So they're down low on the table, sitting on top of the bottle brush, sitting on top of the September flower. Sometimes it's coming out past the September flower. Sometimes it's a little bit shorter than the September flower. And that's all just, and sometimes it's going to be on top like this one. And that's just because I either cut it too short or I cut it too long. Do you know that way? Well, you'll get away with murder. So I have a good few kind of resting along the bottom. I'd love another long one up the top there. And then what I'm going to move on to is the bottom part down at my stomach. You know, this kind of frill along the very bottom part of the arrangement. So
All Things Beautiful said, Jeanette, you look beautiful.
Ah, thanks a million. Do you know, you're a right pet there. So now what I'm going to do is a couple of shorter flowers kind of in this area here, making that little frill, which you could see when I held it up. Okay, I have a few kind of like longer ones here, and I'll just add them through the arrangement. Again, you can see everything is lying down on a slant. Somebody's probably going to tell me I'm talking too fast now.
They probably are, but they always do. Or you're talking too much.
I'm talking too much or talking too fast.
Paula says it looks spectacular. She loves the colours. Wait till you see when it's finished, Paula. Yeah. It's going to be amazing. Over on TikTok, Brian is watching in from Toronto in Canada.
Hey Brian, how are you?
Over on, we've actually quite a few people watching over on YouTube now. We're up to 17 on YouTube. So we never have many people watching on YouTube. So we'd love to build that audience and like our TikTok audience. So a few more hearts on TikTok now, guys, would be lovely.
And many have you got up on
Brian
TikTok
says
now?
he's good.
Like, as in, you know, all the followers.
On followers, I think we're up to 70,000 on TikTok. Yeah.
Become a little Instagram blogger next.
That's
or
it.
TikTok blogger.
A TikTok blogger, that's it.
I tell you now, we got that spritz your bits now. And you took a few videos of you spritzing your bits. I'd say, Jamie, Matt, the followers at Kate Blair School will be unbelievable.
Brian says he loves all the information that you give out. Jay is watching in from the Philippines over on TikTok.
Hiya, James. How are you? I wonder if that more Mary Lonergan's son, is it?
Oh, could
do you
be.
talk Mandarin over there? Do you? They loved my Mandarin class the other night. And I know one of the girls actually said she sent it to her son who actually speaks Mandarin. So again, just to look at it sideways, can you see everything is going in one direction? And I know that's going to drive you as mad, okay? So just bear with me, okay? I'll get rid of that later on. So again, hopefully the shape is kind of starting to take shape.
Okay, sorry, just on TikTok, we've loads of people coming in now. We have Tam is in from New Jersey. We have Barbara from Mayo. We've Potputs from Romania. Tuning in and on Instagram. I hope I'm alive to make my own, having watched this stunning arrangement.
This is one grave now, so you're right feckin' funny one now if you're still alive when you're making this one. You probably could do this, not that you probably could. You could do this on a smaller scale and it could be used for other occasions. But the one that I'm actually doing at the moment is to go on a grave or on top, but I don't want to make it morbid to cast. So I didn't want to kind of say it's for the funeral. So that's why I said remembrance, you know, that way it kind of sounded a little bit nicer, didn't it? So maybe any of you there that go to visit a grave, you know, and you'd like to bring flowers, maybe it's a family member or somebody very close to you, or your own grave if you want to. Maybe have your grave bought in advance and you could keep it decorated. It's like, it's kind of, I won't turn around and say it's really easy. It's a little bit more difficult than some of the designs I have showed you before, but I don't think anybody will have any problem. Now what I'm adding in now is the stock, okay? The scent of this is amazing. So I started off with a pointish one up there, but I just didn't want to hide the Lysianthus. I kind of have the two corner ones. I got one about in the middle, and then I'm just going to add, because I've only got all these ones left, I've only got one left, I'm just going to add this in about this area here. So it's all just about...
And just again, the stock video has been added to the free tutorial for anyone that's interested.
And if anybody hasn't yet uploaded the free tutorial on treatment, conditioning, availability, longevity, the meaning of
tips,
the flowers, hot tips, magic tips, you name it, all you have to do is write in the comments there that you'd love the link, that you want the link. Can you get the link? Whatever it is, comment something with the word link, you know, that way, and we'll respond to you. It'll be later on this evening, okay, but we will respond to you.
Pop puts on TikTok says, I own a flower shop over here in Romania, and they love our videos.
Thanks.
TikTok people not use funny names, but they use letters and numbers and stuff like that. So there's somebody and they're hello from Ireland. Over on Facebook, sorry, I'm just trying to find it here. Oh, Noreen, beautiful arrangement. She's watching from Spain. Bernie is watching from Donegal. Cherry Floral Design says she's already bought her grave. My mother-in-law got her grave as a wedding present.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. What I'm now doing, just anybody that's watching my dear, just going through all the comments there, I'm adding a few of the ice cream tulips, you know, that way in and out through this. Now again, it doesn't have to be the ice cream ones, whatever tulips you happen to have, you know, that way, or again, whatever flowers happens to be in season or that's available. Now I just want to turn this around a little bit just so I can have a look at it from my angle, do you know, that way. And I just added a few more. Has any bright spark asked me how many flowers I've used?
No, but Eileen says, not that I'm planning to depart anytime soon, but you know, would you travel to Birmingham to do my funeral arrangements?
No bother at all to you.
Just give us plenty notice, Eileen, will you?
Just make sure it's a free bar. Because I tell you, it can be thirsty work doing these flower arrangements. Absolutely.
Adele is asking on TikTok, can you recommend any wholesaler in Ireland that sells to the public? No, because they're wholesalers.
Yes, wholesalers don't sell to the public. For some of the sundry items, I named them at the beginning, and maybe some of the girls tagged them. If they're watching again, there, Celine or Jackie, is can you tag their evergreen silk plants for me? And can you tag AM Floral Sundries? And they all will sell to the public as in sundry wise, okay? But you do find for fresh flowers, because I know somebody was contacting us yesterday, the majority of the fresh flower wholesalers only deal with people who are in the trade or maybe registered for VAT. Now, wholesaleflowers.ie that are in Sandyford, they actually deal with the public, they do.
They do, actually,
And again, they courier the flowers to you. So will somebody tag them in the comments there, put the @ sign, wholesaleflowers.ie, and we could organise, and they'll absolutely send them to you. So there we have a couple of tulips. I'm looking for cap-on spots, Deirdre, so give us a few bits of
let me see, just here on the
that side's there.
That side.
There we go.
And probably around the same place on the other side, so absolutely close to you.
Rightio. So now we're going to move on to something else. Go up, you keep going.
Pop puts the Romanian over on TikTok. Their name is Alexandra. So thanks for that. And they were saying that you can. Unfortunately, in Romania, the wholesalers sell to the public, and it creates an awful lot of competition for flowers, which in fairness is the truth, you know, and that's why what we find is a lot of the few wholesalers, like Wholesale Flowers, that do sell to the public, they do have different rates, you know, so although you have to buy in bigger quantities than you would in a flower shop, but you're not getting wholesale prices either, if you're not a wholesaler. Let me see.
That was just a couple of peonies going down through the arrangement. Again, the scent of this is amazing. And the rule would always be bigger flowers to the bottom and smaller flowers to the top. So you can see the way I kind of graded the peonies. Remember me saying it's a bit like my body. Now, my body is getting smaller down around the arse, okay? But normally, I had a small head. The boobs are shrinking as well. But I had bigger boobs, and I always had a much fatter arse than the rest of me. And I'm sure 90% of you that are watching, okay, unless you're you're really tragically sad, okay? But normally, most women are kind of like get fatter and wider. Most men are the same as well. So think of that with your flower arrangements. When you're grading your flowers, big flowers to the bottom and small flowers to the top. I have a couple of fabulous roses. These are the
Sweet Avalanche.
Sweet Avalanche roses. Again, all will remind me of Amy Huberman's wedding. Do you remember when she got married and she had these roses and they became so popular? I'm just removing the guard petals. But if you download that program that I talked to you about earlier on that you can get for free, I have all in about removing the guard petals, you know, that way for your roses. So I'm just adding, again, a couple of the roses. And because that one was more blown, you can see the way I kept it down near the bottom of the arrangement. And this one actually is it must have slipped in. This is a Montmartre,
isn't it?
Montmartre, yeah. Think of that place in Paris. You have to walk up loads of steps to see, is it Christ the Cathedral or Christ the Church?
Oh, right.
So it's a VIP rose. I have a couple of them there for something else. And they are fabulous roses when they blow open. So just in case anybody just likes to colour that
Tricia says she's loving the colours and the foliage and the variety. She'd love the link. So we will reply back to you shortly, yep, Patricia, with the link. And she's watching it from Donegal. We have Irene is watching it from South Africa.
All sharing. Come on, tell me there who's sharing. You know that.
Eileen has given us plenty of notice. 2064, she said she'll be 101.
Oh, that's the year you're going to die, is it?
That's the year she's going to die.
Fair play to you. I'll be all organised for you. Jeannie Mac, 2064, what age will I be? You might be only dying, but I tell you, there'll be a right smell off me at that stage. I think I might be well dead at that stage.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, listen, it's good to have the track. So remember, we have that amazing giveaway prize, okay, from Daisy Bell. So again, anybody that's watching there, tag Daisy Bell for us, okay? It's an Irish company.
They're just starting out, so give them a follow, support them.
Want to support the Irish companies, okay? So it's an Irish company, one-stop shop where you can basically buy all your beauty products. So pop over to their website and have a look, you know, pop over to their Facebook page and their Instagram page and follow them. So whether you want your false tan, your hand wash, or a spritz your bits or blitz your bits or whatever it's called, sounds very exciting. We're going to have a quick look at it later on, and you never know, we might do a little video. But definitely it can be something, you know what I mean, it's an amazing prize. And we will post, as soon as we're finished here today, we will post up a little video for everybody to comment underneath. We'll do it right across the social media pages so that it's very fair. It'll be then announced on Monday will be the winner. I'm not finished this, by the way. We'll announce the So remember back at the beginning, I said hold on to your rubbish. You see, hold on to your stems. The reason why I wanted you to do this, and you know what I'm going to be missing, Deirdre, it's a bit of moss, okay, is I'm going to pretend that the stalks have come out one end of the arrangement and they've come out the opposite end. So I call this arrangement a mock hand-tied arrangement. Now, for anybody that lives in Dublin, so again, give me a bit of feedback, you know what I mean, and see do you agree with me. In Dublin, when something is not real, as a kid, and this is a made-up word, by the way, when we were kids, we used to say, it's not real, it's letting on, right? Letting on. That's how we used to say it, okay? Somebody might spell that in the comments for us. And letting on meant it was kind of pretend, okay, or obviously it wasn't real. So this is a mock hand-tied, as in a pretend hand-tied arrangement. Now, if you've done hand-tied bouquets with me, the idea was that was a bouquet of flowers with the stems, the natural stems that you stick in water, coming out the other end. Where what I'm doing here is obviously they are the stems of the flowers, but they're not the stems of them particular flowers, well, off some of them. I'm just trying to give the effect, and then what I'm doing now is I'm stepping up on the floral foam on this end. Deirdre's just gone looking for a bit of moss for me, you know, that way. So hopefully, can you find anything? No, you know, just check that this is still on the camera, with the parts that I'm doing, because this is really important that they're able to see this area. Hopefully it's there. Can you see it?
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yep, we can see it.
So what I've done there is I've kind of stepped up with a second row of sticks, and now I'm going to step up on the floral foam again with another row of sticks, okay? What else could be
besides the straw? Oh, look, there's moss there on that, so you can probably I'll pull it off.
Oh, yeah, brilliant. Fair play, yeah. Talk about the remnants. So that's what I'm doing there, is I'm sticking all the stems of the flowers. Now, it's really important that you step them up the way I'm doing it there, is that you don't just, sometimes you keep it like a pancake, you know, like the first row. It's important that you step up, step up. And these kind of wooden stems that I have here, these are actually off the bottle brush foliage from the very, very beginning, you know, because I knew I would need them. So that's, again, I'll just try and hold this up there just to kind of give you an idea. So I've added another, 12 inches onto the end of that arrangement. So do you remember I said, like, I started off with a double spray tray, but I went to 15 inches down that end, and now I'm kind of going down.
And guys, for any of you that are watching on Facebook, YouTube, our Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, you're watching this horizontal. If you did want to watch this stage of it over on YouTube, it's actually a better view because it's landscape. Is that what it's called? Yeah, landscape, it's landscape. Yeah. So you probably see it a little bit better.
Again, anyone has any questions? I've another bit more still to do with it to get it finished. Are you enjoying it? Are you liking it? Are you learning anything? And do you have any questions? So again, keep responding back to me. And also in the meantime, let's keep tagging Daisy Bell, okay? Because again, they are sponsoring today's event, okay? They're giving an amazing hamper of beauty products. So let's kind of show them that we're all happy and delighted, because we might get one next week, you know, that way, hint, hint, tip, tip, right? So everybody tag Daisy Bell in the comments there. And as I said, I'll have you'll be able to enter the competition later on.
Yeah, no, they're loving it. Eileen says, she says, just seeing you briefly, Deirdre.
Doesn't she look great? She's after being swimming in that hyaluronic
acid.
Doesn't she look amazing?
Mary Flynn says in Cork, it would be called Makia. So
Makia. Letnan is Makia in Cork, right? Okay. Anybody else? So what we have here is a couple of florist wires. Probably don't need as many of them. I'm cutting these into 2-inch pieces. So where's your one Louise or Lisa on TikTok there for a conversion, right? So about 2-inch pieces, I'm cutting up these pieces of wire. And what I'm then going to do to them is bend them over in half, okay? Now you might find this hard to do. I need my hand cream after this, right? I'm bending them over in half, and I'm making like what we call hairpin bends, or what we call them here in the florist business are mossing pins, okay? So when you did briefly see Deirdre that time, we had to get her to come on the camera because I'm sure you all want to see her. She's after losing loads of weight, she is. She looks absolutely amazing, and she's lost about 20 years off her face as well. Do you know, she looks fantastic.
Patricia Sims says, you need a big trailer to transport this. It'll certainly cover a grave. And what a great idea.
The idea is, you know, like we say a grave is 6'6", I presume, 7 foot.
Well, my husband's 7'7", so he wouldn't have, he'd be buckling up his knees.
He'd have to bend his knees to get him into a grave. I don't know what length a grave is, but it definitely has to be 7 foot then for Deirdre's husband to fit in one. And the idea is that this would lie on the grave. You know,
Jackie is watching over on YouTube. So, and actually, geez, we've 24 people watching on YouTube now. Wow.
So what I have here is a bit of dried moss, you know, that way. Because we couldn't find the moss, I had kind of cocked up, hadn't got it organised. So it's a little bit dry. So normally what I would do is dip it in water, but sure, I don't want to get myself dirty here. I'm wearing a new pink top. So I'm going to rest between the end of the flowers and the stalks, okay? So I'm going to rest the moss in there, and I'm now going to use them little pins. So it's a bit like, you know, pinning your hair curlers, you know, that way your rollers, okay? And that's what I'm doing onto the moss. Now people often say to me, well, could I put a break? And at this stage, no, I don't like the moss or whatever. I'm not finished.
Facebook is glitching a little bit on us. So pop over to YouTube. It's such a better view on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook and it is glitching on you, pop over to YouTube and watch it over there.
And the other thing is click share now, and then like later on when the Wi-Fi kind of fixes, you'll be able to watch the whole thing again. Because I know I was saying about working along with me, and you're probably saying Jamie Max Speedy Gonzalez there. Do you know that? Right?
And actually Leanne over on YouTube, she's actually working with you.
Oh, fair play to you, Leanne. Fair play to you. So I'm going to try and kind of clean this spot a little bit. Into the magic bin. There we go. Clean it all up. Just I don't want to. Normally I'm not fussy, but I've a clean top on today, and I want to try and get the day out. So we move all that over there. And I can't wipe my hands in my white jigs. Jamie Mac, we're getting very fussy, aren't you? Now, did you get a bit of ribbon out for me?
I did. Well, if the hessian or that purple.
Is there any of that dusty pink out there, no? Give us the purple anyway in the meantime.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
While I went behind the screen here, would they see what I'm doing?
Oh, no, they wouldn't see it.
This is our magic screen.
This is our magic
screen. Okay, and it's a bit dark, so I'm looking for the dusty pink. There we go.
Have you got one?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So you did the job.
So,
we're very unorganised today.
Unorganised
this is what happens when you do 2 lives or 3 lives in a week.
Okay, so you get your organza. I'm going to use this organza. I'm measuring out, a good yard. I'm going to cut it. And I'm going to get a second one. I'm not going to put the purple into it. I think I'll keep it all the dusty pink. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So we go for this colour here, right? So I'm going to put the two pieces of fabric together, squeeze it all like I'm kind of putting a scarf, that way, or I'm going to tie up my hair. And I'm going to make the collar bow. Now, I've showed you loads of times. And by the way, this is going to be too long, but I'll trim it afterwards. So what you do when you're making this bow is you pretend you're wrapping it around your neck and you pretend you're crisscrossing it. So normally I'd say if it's cold, but it is feckin' cold out today, right? So crisscross it, but you can't physically make it around your own neck. So round the neck, cross it under the chin. Don't worry that the tails are different lengths. I'll fix this all afterwards, okay? Even your pink fingernails. And what you do is you grab the back of it and you bring it down to meet the other hand. You see, kind of like down there. That's the handiest way to do it. Now this might be a little bit tricky for some of you. You need to get a florist wire, because you may have seen me doing this before, and I tied it with a string and I tied it onto the door wreaths, the spring door wreaths and summer door wreaths. Today I'm going to use a wire and I'm going to wrap the wire around it. Now not the whole wire, just the beginning of the wire. So there it is wrapped around, and I'm going to squeeze, it's a short bit and a long bit. I'm going to squeeze the guts out of them, so squeeze it in real tight. I'm going to get the long bit of wire and wrap it around that bit 2 or 3 or 4 times, you see, to hold. I'm going to come back around to the front and fluff me loops. Put a bit of hyaluronic, what's it,
Hyaluronic.
Hyaluronic, never get that feckin' word. Hyaluronic acid into my organza, into my tulle. Puff it all out there nice and full. Trim the tails, because as you can see, they're miles too long, okay? So pretend I'm in the hairdressers and we can cut across there. My hairdresser is watching. I could do with a bit of a fringe trim at the moment. If you see me in the bar, just bring your scissors with you. We can pop into the toilets. And then the wire that's coming out the other end, I'm going to fold it over in half into kind of like, again, a hairpin bend. And that wire is going to go down into the moss, okay? Get the feck in there. It's a bit strong. There you go. It's gone in there. And that's going to help kind of camouflage. I know you can see it at the sides, but camouflage the moss, okay? My stems coming out the other end, I'm just going to give them a little bit of a trim. But I don't want them all to be the same length, okay? I kind of want it a little bit irregular. And the idea is that our mock hand tied is tied with a bow, and our stems, our stalks, are sticking out the other end. Now, hopefully there's no gaps and there's no bits and so on.
Straighten it up higher. Go straighter.
I'll be drowned. And there you go. There is your grave or your remembrance grave arrangement to go on a grave, go on a coffin, or you can sit it on your own head until you wait till 2064 till Eileen dies. I really hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I hope you got a few tips out of it and a couple of tricks.